We had three by-elections on Thursday. In Somerton and Frome, the Lib Dems overturned a Tory majority of 19,000. In Uxbridge and South Ruislip, Boris Johnson old constituency, the Tories managed to hold on with a tiny majority of around 400, thanks to Labour threatening people with cleaner air and better health via the ULEZ ultra-low emission scheme. And the Tory line machine was in full overdrive for this one. ULEZ was actually introduced by, guess who? Boris Johnson. And Grant Shapps, who was Transport Secretary, instructed that it be rolled out as far as Uxbridge. What they didn't do was offer a scrappage scheme in that area, even though it's been offered elsewhere. So they told residents that their own scheme would work out more expensive, failing to say they put nothing in place to help, and it would only in fact affect 1 in 10 people. And the people of Uxbridge, not happy with being kicked in the bollocks by their previous MP, a Prime Minister who failed to represent them in Parliament and is a proved complete liar, opened their legs and offered them another free go. In Selby and Ainsty, Labour overturned a 20,000 majority to get their candidate elected. He was 25-year-old Keir Mather, and in the spirit of losing graciously, Johnny Mercer, the Veterans Minister, who thinks service personnel use food banks as a choice, said that him being 25 was turning politics into the in-betweeners. Johnny Boy pays his attack dog wife 42 grand a year to work in his office and abuse people on Twitter, so he knows a thing or two about politics. And speaking of MPs milking the system, as well as having a heavily subsidised restaurant, subsidised by us, by the way, did you know that while both parties are fighting to keep kids in poverty by continuing the two-child benefit system, MPs can claim £5,435 a year to feed each of their children? It's almost as if there's one rule for us and another for them. But the good news is, I think the cost of living crisis might be over, because although there's no money to pay public sector workers like nurses, doctors and teachers a decent pay rise, we've recently been able to find an extra 45% for the royal family, increasing from 86 million to 125 million a year in the next 2 years. Good on you, Your Majesty. If any castle-owning billionaire deserves more money for doing fuck all, it's you. We also managed to get rid of the cap on bankers' bonuses a while back, and there's talk of getting rid of inheritance tax too. I wonder who that will help. Oh, and finally, remember when Boris Johnson nearly died of COVID? Well, surprise, surprise, a documentary filmmaker has found evidence that this might not have been entirely true. The Daily Mail has already run a front page headline trying to discredit him before the documentary even comes out, so you know there's something in it. Well, if Boris said it, chances are it was a lie. So it'll be interesting to see what develops.